After almost 27 years in prison serving life sentence for a murder here in Springfield, Mark Schand is a free man because, as it turns out, he didn't commit the crime. His wife Maya stuck by his side on the other side of the bars, and they both joined me to talk about this. Thank you so much for joining me today to talk about this. So I have to, when I read about your story, I was so blown away by the fact that this wasn't, 5 years or even 10 years or 20 years later. This was almost 27 years later that it kind of finally came out that, no, you didn't commit the crime. Did you kind of get tired that whole time of telling people, no, I really didn't do it, I really am innocent?
Yeah, I got tired of saying it. I was telling it to anyone who would listen, I was falling on deaf ears for a while until I ran into Centurion Ministries, the people who are instrumental in getting me out of prison. But, oh yeah, I got tired of saying it.
And we're going to talk about Centurion Ministries. You're the ones that finally brought the truth to light. Before we get into that, though, I want to talk to you, Maya. Yeah. Just like Mark, all right, he's on the other side of the bar saying, I truly didn't commit this murder. I'm innocent. Of course, I'm sure everybody's heard that, like, okay, yeah. But what about you? You're trying to say the same things. Did you kind of feel that your words were falling on deaf ears, or do you feel like you had a little bit more traction with, like, people were truly trying to believe that something was wrong?
Well, I knew all the time that Mark was innocent. And I knew that one day that it would be proven that he was, he will come home.
How did you know he was innocent?
Because I knew where he was that day when the incident happened.
But yet nobody else would believe her. That wouldn't hold up in court because you had so many people coming out against Mark for their own sake, for their own safety. So none of them would say the truth. That must have been hard to watch, seeing other people lie at the sake of your husband's future.
But as always, the truth comes out. Always the truth. It took 27 years, but it finally came out.
That's incredible. So talk about those 27 years before we get to the good part of that. Yes, he's finally out. There's a good ending to this story. Talk about those 27 years of, it was almost like he was a father, he had to be a husband from behind bars. How was that balance on raising a family of a couple boys? What was that like with him not being able to be there, but I guess in a way you felt that he was there with you?
Yeah, he was always there. Actually, I have one son by Mark, and Mark has two other kids, previous relationships. And I was 6 months pregnant when Mark left. And Mark was always a part of, my son, which his name is Quentin, from when he was a baby, when he was born, when he was birthed. So.
What was it like growing up? When the kids were younger, did you guys explain to them, all right, guys, this is the situation with Daddy? Like, how did you broach that with them?
Well, they had a couple of groups. When I was in prison, they had a couple of groups, that they had in prison. And that was one of the big arguments, how do you break it to your kids, that you're incarcerated? Some people didn't want to tell their kids they were incarcerated. Some people told them they was away in college, they was in the Army. And I didn't feel I had to compound my situation with a lie and have my kids grow into a lie and one day say, Daddy, why didn't you trust me with the truth? I wasn't supposed to be in prison as it was. So to have my kids grow up and say, well, Daddy, why didn't you tell us that? Why didn't you trust us with the truth? I told them, listen, I'm in prison. And then, one day I knew they were old enough for me to tell them why and then trust them with the truth. Well, listen, I'm in prison for a crime I didn't commit. Mm-hmm. So right off the bat, when they could understand that they were coming into prison walls, it came a time where they knew they were entering a prison. They had to come in, and sometime they would get pat down, physical searches and things like that, and gates and slamming. They knew what a prison was at a certain point. And I told them, I'm in prison, but I'm in prison for a crime I didn't commit. And I told them straight up and down. I never sugarcoated. I never lied to them. I never, gave them a song and dance. I told them the truth. Dad's in prison, and this is why. I'm in prison for a crime I didn't commit. And as the years went on, they grew to understand what was going on. They educated themselves about my situation and the case, not the little, legalities of the case so much, but they knew I was in there for something I had no involvement in, and they grew to understand it. And, that's how I dealt with it. I told them the truth. I didn't feel a need to lie to my kids, on top of the fact that I was incarcerated for a crime I didn't commit.
What was it like dealing with the fact that you knew you were innocent, but other people, the court system didn't consider you innocent? What was that? That must have been so hard to truly live with for a long period of time.
Yeah, well, It is what it is. I had no control over the court system. I could barely control my own destiny. I could just try to fight and get someone, to believe in me, and that's what I did. I had Lyndon John Thompson at my side. I had Centurion Ministry at the other side, and they fought. They came together. It was a perfect storm. They came together and they got me out of there.
All right, so let's talk about that. How did it all come about that they were able to prove your innocence?
Well, without getting into too much detail, they, Centurion Ministry did an independent investigation, and they went and talked to, digging up a couple of old witnesses and talking to some of the people that were involved in the case, and ultimately they wanted to come forth with the truth, and they did. And, a couple of them were granted immunity in certain situations to come into court and speak the truth as to what happened in the case, and they came into court and, pretty much told the court and anyone who would listen that I wasn't involved in the case and I wasn't with them 27 years ago.
Maya, what was your reaction when you found out, you get the phone call, email, however you heard that Mark, you knew he was innocent, but that finally the court system, everybody else was going to be able to know that too? What was that like for you?
Finally, that phone call was the best phone call I ever had in long time, from phone calls when Mark was calling me. And I started calling the kids, and we was like, your dad's coming home, and this is the time for him to come home.
Did you ever give up hope?
No.
Why not?
Always have faith.
It could have been so easy to give up hope because, it was a long time. How did you never give up hope?
I never gave up hope because I always knew Mark was innocent. And one day he was going to come home, and he did.
Now, being away for almost 27 years, and I know you have it tattooed on your arm, the years, the days, the minutes, right, the seconds. But almost 27 years of your life, you went in when you were 18, correct?
No, I was 21, and I had my 22nd birthday soon after I was incarcerated, soon after I was first arrested.
Okay, so that's a whole chunk of your life.
Yeah.
Now you're a free man, but in some ways you have to still feel in prison because your resume, what can you put on your resume? I was incarcerated for 27 years for a crime I didn't commit. Yeah. There's got to be some things that have held you back from being able to truly acclimate into society.
Yeah, well, I haven't even been out 4 months yet, four months yet, and it's been a problem. I went to fill out an application not too long ago, and it's a problem because I left the whole, previous work section blank. And the woman came back to me, she said, "Excuse me, Mark, you left that blank." And I had to explain to her, I said, I have no previous occupations. I've been incarcerated for 27 years. Well, that's a problem in and of itself because if you were incarcerated, you couldn't have the job with a felony. So she's saying, well, if you've been incarcerated for 27 years, you probably can't have this job. So then there's that. If I don't have any experience for 27 years being incarcerated, I didn't have any experience. There's that, no experience. Who wants to hire you without experience? Then if you've been in jail for 27 years, who wants to hire you with a felony? And then there's the stigma if you did 27 years for a murder, most employees are thinking, well, you had to have had something to do with it if you did 27 years for it, and I may not want you representing my brand or my company. So there's a full range of problems, in regards to finding employment. And it hasn't been easy. Well, I've been looking, but I'm sure something will come. I've been looking. I'm sure something will come sooner or later. But it's not easy. It's not easy.
What do you kind of go into the whole long explanation? Like, let me explain this to you to try to...
It's hard. I try to give them the short answer, Okay. I tell them, I said, listen, I don't have a lot of experience. I don't want to lie on my application. I've been incarcerated. Yeah. And then they say, well, you can't have a record. And I say I was incarcerated for something I didn't do. And, a lot of times I go to a lot of the exonerees from Centurion Ministry. We all get together, and one of the guys said, listen, when you go through that kind of stuff, he said, just whip out your phone and tell them Google me. Because, a lot of the case and a lot of the stuff that occurred in regards to the case and me being freed is on, YouTube and stuff. So he said, just tell a person to Google you. Now, it's odd, but, I do it sometimes. I say, listen, I was incarcerated for a crime I didn't commit. You can YouTube it. When I went to go get my driver's permit, I had to go through that. I told the person I didn't know how to use the computer. I said, I don't know how to use the computer. So he thought I was joking. He walked away. I told him, no, seriously, I don't know how to use a computer. And he thought I was joking again. And I literally told him, listen, I've been away for 27 years. Yeah. I showed him the case, and he's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. He showed me. So, you got to go through certain things like that. But, I can deal with it. I can deal with it.
Hey, you're out from behind
That's
bars,
right.
so you're like...
The worst part is over, yeah. The worst part's over.
So with that normally somebody would have a felony record or a criminal record because of this. In your situation, where does that leave you? Because
the felony's been wiped off. I don't have a felony. Yeah.
Okay, so you could even an employer could even check your background, and they would say. Yeah,
they can check. Oh yeah, they definitely can check. Yeah.
But it's just the stigma of somebody that's saying, well, you have to be guilty in some way, shape, or form.
Well, they can. Yeah, I mean, it can be in the back of someone's mind. I mean, in some cases, I can see how a person would say if I'm starting a new company and they see me on TV for a murder, and I did 27 years, almost 3 decades for a murder, and I've been set free. I can see how they can say, wow, he was in jail almost 30 years for a murder. I may not want him attached to my company or my brand. I can see how someone would think that, So, I can see how someone may want to give me a chance too. I mean, I'd give me a chance. I ain't a bad guy. You know what I mean? I'd hire me.
There you go.
Yeah, I would.
Now, talk about something positive. Think of something positive that's come out of this situation. I mean, it's hard to think of something positive when you've been in prison for 27 years for something you didn't do. But what would be something positive to come looking back out of all of this?
Wow. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I got anything positive out of the incarceration.
Okay.
I really can't draw anything good out of losing almost half of my life behind bars. I'm sorry, I can't get that one out of here for you today. I just can't come up with a good thing from that situation.
Talk about the next 27 years.
Well, I can get you a lot of positive stuff out of that. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to help raise my grandkids. And hope I get a couple more of those. And spending time with my family, with my sons and my wife. It's going to be a lot of good years to come. I got a good couple of years left. If I don't stay away from greasy foods and not get hit by a car, I got some good years left. So, stay healthy. I'll be all right.
Maya, talk about what it's been like to have your husband back home finally.
We're having a ball. Just having dinner together with the kids, the grandkids. Looking forward to going on a vacation one day and just having them home every day.
And I guess the little things don't matter. I guess the little things that might upset somebody else, or you left the toilet seat up, or something stupid like that. I guess to you guys, it almost seems as if you're happy that he's there to leave the toilet seat up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she bothers me about the little stuff too.
Hey, that's a wife's job, so you gotta give her a little space.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much, Mark and Maya, for telling me your story.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.